At the point when President Donald Trump made that big appearance in Alabama on Friday night to rally bolster for Senator Luther Strange, you could advise he was in the mindset to make some commotion, and some news. His expectations for annulment and supplant of the Affordable Care Act had been managed a close lethal blow hours before when Arizona Senator John McCain declared he would not bolster the most recent cycle of the enactment. His one-time senior strategist, Steve Bannon, and additionally some of his different partners, counting previous Alaska Governor Sarah Palin and his own particular Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson, were contending energetically for Roy Moore, the man attempting to expel Strange in Tuesday's Republican spillover. A modest bunch of late survey numbers had demonstrated Trump's picture-enhancing, though somewhat, with voters. What's more, as he quite often does in these circumstances, Trump played superbly to sort, conveying a 80-minute meandering barrier of his organization with a progression of asides, digressions, stories, and I most likely shouldn't say this, however I will at any rate isms. I experienced the entire discourse and chose the 64 lines that emerged to me. They're underneath. 1. I adore this place. Also, you know we set each record in Alabama. It's not absolutely clear what correct records Trump is alluding to here. It could be a record for biggest group to go to a political rally. Those records aren't generally kept. In spite of the fact that Trump said amid the Republican essential process that 32,000 individuals went to his rally in February 2016, the biggest group, he asserted, to go to any political rally in the crusade to date. Nearby police assessed the group as a large portion of the size Trump said. Trump may have additionally been discussing the crude number of votes he got in the state as a record. He got 1,318,255, more than any past Republican chosen one. 2. You have some football games tomorrow. Genuine. Alabama plays Vanderbilt in Nashville. Reddish-brown plays Missouri in Columbia. 3. He's just been there for, what, 34 years or something to that effect, right? Trump is speaking here about Alabama Republican Senator Rich Shelby, who without a doubt cherishes the way that the president helped a major group to remember individuals who don't love Washington lawmakers that Shelby has been in office for over 3 decades. This is Trump on Attorney General Jeff Sessions. The man he called ambushed. The man he called a blockhead. The man he said ought to leave after Sessions recused himself from the Russia test and an extraordinary guidance was made to manage the examination. Same buddy. 5. It will happen. It will happen rapidly. Rapidly. Better. Trump on the endeavors to modify after the sea tempests that hit Texas and Florida. Things will be remade. Better. What's more, rapidly. Rapidly better. Better rapidly. 6. We will deal with the awful individuals. Harder. More grounded. Better. Trump did not clarify how we will deal with the terrible individuals. 7. We will win. Trust me. All things considered, I'm persuaded. 8. Rocket Man ought to have been dealt with quite a while prior. I'm not the man they think I am at home, oh no / I'm a Rocket Man. 9. This ought to have been taken care of 8 years prior and 4 years back and, truly, and 15 years prior and 28 years back and 25 years prior. 28 years prior, Kim Jong-un was 5. 10. Little Rocket Man. Mars ain't the sort of place to bring your children up, truth be told, it's cool as hellfire. 11. He is watching us like he never watched anyone. That I can let you know. The temperamental tyrant of a maverick country is viewing the U.S. more intently than any other time in recent memory. This is, as per Trump rationale, something to be thankful for. 12. Perhaps something gets worked out. Also, perhaps it doesn't. A few people say we will have a different universe war with atomic weaponized nations. Others don't. Man, I can hardly wait to perceive how this cliffhanger closes. 13. All things considered, possibly something gets worked out and perhaps it doesn't. Indeed, you truly recently said that. 14. No one will upset our kin. No one will play recreations. Trump loves to play extreme person. He cherishes to demand that nothing terrible is regularly going to happen to the U.S. while he's in control. Furthermore, that the greater part of our adversaries, and even some of our long-lasting partners, should be woken up to the way that there's another sheriff nearby. 15. I made a companion in China. Great to hear. Companions are something to be thankful for. Possibly the best thing. 16. He might be brilliant. He might be key. Also, he might be absolutely insane. Same. 17. I have a ton of companions. Also, some of them say, do you mind in the event that I go to the next competitor? Really, you can. This starts a story Trump tells about Strange and his unwaveringness. In any case, the president starts the story by taking notes of that loads of his companion are for Roy Moore, and he's thoroughly fine with that. 18. I'm on the telephone shouting at individuals throughout the day, for quite a long time. It's difficult to envision why Trump's campaigning endeavors on the main nullification and supplant charge didn't work. 19. That was an absolutely unforeseen thing. Loathsome. Truly, horrendous. Trump on McCain murdering the last annulment and supplant exertion. Significant here that McCain has cerebrum disease. What's more, that Trump has adulated him as a loyalist for coming back to Washington in the late spring to partake in the social insurance wrangle about. 20. I said on the off chance that I lose this race, possibly I'll wind up moving to Alabama or Kentucky. The odds of Donald Trump regularly moving to Alabama and Kentucky are generally the same as the odds of Kentucky beating Alabama in football this year. 21. On the off chance that crooked Hillary got chose, you would not have a Second Amendment, trust me. Trump knows this isn't valid. Clinton, in the crusade, said these correct words, I would prefer not to annul the Second Amendment. He said this same thing all through the battle, notwithstanding actuality check after certainty check calling it a lie. What Trump is doing is deliberately playing on traditionalists' feelings of trepidation that Democrats would by one means or another fugitive firearms in the event that they had the shot. 22. You got the opportunity to address Jeff Sessions about that. As Trump riffed on the false thought that Clinton would have grabbed all weapons in the nation, the group started the now commonplace "Pull Her Up" serenade. To which Trump reacted that they would need to converse with the country's best law implementation official about that. Great circumstances. 23. So with Luther, I have a rundown, and one of the names is Luther Strange. Trump still has not recounted the Luther Strange story he guaranteed around 1,000 words prior. 24. I don't have any acquaintance with him. I met him once. Trump's absence of an association with Strange is an odd thing to feature given that Trump is in Alabama advising individuals to vote in favor of the officeholder congressperson. 25. That is the tallest individual alive at any point seen. I am tall, I've never observed that. Ought to be on the New York Knicks. Trump, as he jumps at the chance to remind you, is truly tall at 6'2". Same tallness as me. Strange is 6'9". Kristaps Porzingis, the Knicks' tallest player, is 7'3". 26. That is the reason I call him Big Luther. Everybody is calling him Big Luther. Trump, in spite of his announcement, didn't think of the enormous Luther. Strange has been known as Large Luther since at any rate his 2010 crusade for Alabama lawyer general. 27. All things considered, Mr. President, would you be able to eat with my significant other, myself, my family, my uncles, my cousins, and I jump at the chance to converse with you about it? The full impact of this quote must be seen, not heard. Trump has all the earmarks of being influencing a Southern highlight as he describes how individuals from Congress who are faltering on human services address him when he calls. On a related note, Trump is not a talented copy. 28. They cherish you and they need to eat with you. They need to eat with you and lunch. At that point, after you're done with them, we should go out for an excursion somewhere on the White House grass. Trump depicting another discussion with a congressperson who needed him to have a progression of dinners with their family who cherish him before voting in favor of human services. What's more, truly, Trump was still kind of doing the Southern highlight here, as well. 29. I think his significant other is incredible, however I stated, do I need to eat with you and your better half? See, I cherish Mrs. Unusual. I simply have definitely no enthusiasm for eating with her. Like, none. 30. That was, truly awful thing. Genuinely. That was a frightful, awful thing that happened to the Republican Party. Trump has returned to McCain and his no vote at 3 in the morning. 31. He doesn't know Mitch McConnell. He was only there for a couple of months, and they put that mantle around his neck. Bizarre really knows the Senate-dominant part pioneer. Actually, a McConnell-sponsored super PAC is on track to burn through $9 million on advertisements for Strange in the race. 32. I see he is down in the race by a considerable measure, and I stated, man, that is truly uncalled for. Trump is setting himself up as the strange friend in need here. Man, he was getting entryways brushed off however that I swooped in and all of a sudden he has returned to be focused. Pats cell phone back repeatedly. 33. The exact opposite thing I need to do is be associated with an essential, okay? I could sit home right now getting the opportunity to observe a portion of the recreations tomorrow. Sort of an abnormal thing to state, no? 34. I believe you will return and beat everyone senseless and you will do awesome. Presidential. Related, I'm just great at two things in this life, kicking ass and being snarky. What's more, I'm hard and fast of snarky. 35. The most noticeably awful. Counterfeit news. They won't demonstrate this. They'll say, Donald Trump talked before a little swarm in Alabama the previous evening. It was a little group. Satellite TV dependably demonstrates the shots of Trump's group, including the previous evening. Be that as it may, why given realities a chance to act as a burden when you can toss fanatic red meat to the group? 36. Exceptionally apathetic group. In the second section of the CNN story on the rally, the group is portrayed as rambunctious. So. 37. Be that as it may, they don't demonstrate the group. Narrator voice, they do. 8. They said she wore high foot rear areas, going to go into the surges with her high rear areas. However, she has BCO.